Question, Erwin Cabilga ng RMN.
Okay. Sino?
Cabilgin, RMN. Sana? Si Erwin.
Next.
Okay, go.
Ako na lang mauna.
Pakilala ka na lang.
Good morning po, His Excellency, Mr. President. Ali Makabalang po ng Manila Bulletin. This morning, sa mga radio, narinig namin ang kasayahan kahit na yung mga flooded victims, seeing you, naibsan daw, tuwira ng kanilang paghihirap. That's a good news for you in your visit. Mr. President, actually, I would like to quote as reports today that you were explaining why you would you said the signing of the arm postponement bill into law by June 20.
30.
Ayon sa mga reports na yon, pagbibigyan mo yung mga lumikha nito na makasama. Amid this report, may grim scenario pong pinangangambahan ng mga namumuno at nakatira sa ARM dahil when you sign it into law, 15 minutes, within 15 days, ipapublish it sa official gazette before it turn into full-blown law. And by July 15, obviously, nangako ng mga ilang stakeholders, led by the PDP Laban Group, to file petition in Supreme Court asking this. Well, what if in a stroke of fate, na baka ma-reverse ito? Yung grim scenario na pinangangambahan ay na baka naka-appoint na po kayo by then ng OICs. And therefore, the reversion in Supreme Court of the law would make render invalid those appointments. There is a grim scenario of vacuum of leadership in the autonomous region sa 26 elective positions po. Ano po ang pananaw niyo nito sa possibility mangyari?
Napakarami kasing kung sakali mangyari ito, yung supposition. Kasi kabaliktaran po nun, paano naman kung hindi mangyari yun? No? So, bakit po tayo maglalagay ng katakot-takot na agam-agam kung marami pang dapat mangyari para mangyari yung grim scenario yung sinasabi nyo? Para sa akin po pananaw, para pinapakabalang natin ang sarili natin sa isang sitwasyon na hindi pa tsak na mangyayari. Ulitin ko lang, ano? At thank you sa tanong nyo. Ano bang hinahabol natin doon sa synchronization muna? Yun ang first. Synchronization ng ARM elections with the national. Paniwala ko po, ako po yung 2007, tumakbo senador na biktima po ako sa ARM. Alam naman nyo kung ilang presinto, 0 po ako. Nung tumakbo akong presidente, parang nanalo yata ako sa kabuuan ng ARM. Siguro mga 1 week to go. Hindi ko alam paano nangyari yun. Pero bottom line, no, yung paano nangyari sitwasyon na yan, meron kang magkahiwalay na election, national or midterm, tapos the following year yung sa ARM. Yung possibility na magkaroon ng command vote is always there. Bakit hindi natin tinuloy yung elections? Kasi yung kung isi-synchronize natin, meron kang iupo ngayon, siyempre, maski sinong politiko, gusto niya makabalik sa pwesto, imbis na yung dating 3 years na kanyang termino, magiging short-term term, baka naman yung mga nadiskubre na natin sa dating palakad sa ARM, lalong mapabilis yung kapahamakan ng ating mga kababayan. Okay, what does that mean? Meron akong COA report, no? I'm sorry, don't remember there. I think it was 208, 209, kung saan sa Office of the Regional Governor, they have questioned at least 50% of the 2 billion allocation. Actually, it's more than 50%. It's 1.003 billion of the 2 billion. I had the chance to talk to COA Chair Grace Tan recently, and I understand the number. There are other data that's been coming in. Is even worse than 50% ang question. Okay. So, hindi ba parang, mukhang may preba na ho tayo. Dito raw, nagtayo ng ghost school at para angkop yung teacher, nilagyan ng ghost teacher at yung estudyante na tunay ay hindi ho natuto. Okay. So, yun ang gusto natin baguhin. So, ang hinahabol, parang doon napasangayon ako, kung merong appointive, napapakiusapan natin, may commitment na hindi tatakbo, ang focus i-deliver yung tinatawag na basic services sa ating mga kababayan. Sa ARM po, alam naman natin nandito lahat ng pangit na statistika. Highest infant mortality rates, highest maternal mortality rates, lowest access to potable water. Mamili na kayo ng data o datos nandito. So, ang focus ng i-appoint, at hindi lang kung mamimili nito, we will try to be as inclusive in the selection process. Kakausapin natin lahat ng stakeholders na pagkatapos po nun, may naiyo po, ang trabaho lang nila, ipakita kung paano hindi na ghost school, hindi na ghost teacher, hindi na ghost units, na rural health units, hindi na ghost doctors at midwives. At maramdaman natin mga kababayan dito kung paano pag merong good governance. Okay. So, again, yun ang habol po namin. Yung methodology on how to do it, ito po yung isang paraan, lahat po ng paraan, pwede hong ma-challenge constitutionally. Palalo ko lang po, yung synchronization is actually a mandate already enshrined in our constitution. But in practice, hindi mo nasi-synchronize yung elections. At kung hindi synchronize, yung phenomenon ng command votes, kung saan hindi maliwanag yung mandato ng tao, nangyayari.
Question po tungkol po sa layo ninyo, tungkol sa flood. May panawagan po persistent na magkaroon ng kautusan mula sa inyo na pag-synchronize po ang kilos at resources na pinamamahagi ng national government sa mga local government units. Ang Mindanao River Basin po ay sumasakop ng napakaraming probinsya. Marapat po siguro bilang tatay ng ating bansa na tawagin yung mga anak ng mga gobernador, city mayors dito, umupo sa isang upuan at yung master plan na sinasabi ay isang ayunan o salungatin at magkaroon tayo ng tunay na master plan na pagsususugan nila. Would you be doing an action to synchronize the efforts of these people?
Well, yung gano'n naman yung governance natin, especially, actually last time kami pinag-uusapan namin yung kidnapping, pinag-uusapan namin yung drugs, pinag-uusapan na rin to degree yung carnapping. Yung second meeting namin had to deal with yung armed elections postponement, in the idea behind it. Tapos ito, in our subsequent meeting, we'll be discussing this also. Both as far as the LGUs are concerned, governors o nakausap ko, tapos as far as our partners in Congress and the various representatives, we've had several meetings already with both groups. So, topic by topic lang. Ito naman yung Mindanao River Basin Plan ang ating tatalakayin as soon as possible.
Okay, next question, please.
Magandang umaga po, Ginoong Pangulo. Erwin Cabilbigan po ng Arimen, Cotabato. Sir, makaroon ho ninyong makita ang sitwasyon ng Cotabato City at Maguindanao dulot ho ng matinding pagbaha. Ano po ang inyong magagawa at agarang kautusan sa mga ahensyang dapat tumugon ho ng problemang ito na mabigyan ho ang solusyon itong matagal ng problema ng pagbaha dito ho sa aming lugar, sir? Salamat po.
Well, yung number one, paano ba natin ibsan yung paghihirap ng mga kababayan natin dito? So actually, Secretary Ona, for instance, gave us a briefing. Ano ba yung diseases? Kasi nagkukumpul-kumpul lang nga yung tao dito sa evacuation centers. Merong mga diseases na pwedeng kumalat dahil nga, di ba, bawas yung sanitary facilities, i-expose ka sa elements. So yun tinanong ko rin kanina. Yung classrooms ba na puno na nagagamit o raw? Pero kulang, gumamit ng tent. Yung tubig, meron bang potable water na maayos at malinis? So, in addition, meron ng supply provided by the city government, for instance, of Cotabato. Pero ino-augment itong mga water containers natin with the matching disinfectants, to ensure. Kasi yung diarrhea nagmumula sa sa unclean water. Yung medicines, tinanong yung figure kanina, I'll evaluate it and together with Secretary Ona and ask whether or not, yung kanina may mukha na ipipreposition just in case, di ba, tagulan na tayo. Kung dadami pa itong ulan, kung makakaroon pa yung baha, kung matatagalan na ma-normalize yung ating mga kababayan, siguraduhin na nandyan yung kakailanganin nila kung magkaroon ng karamdaman. Sa DSWD naman, pinag-uusapan nga itong shelter na pinoprovide, plus yung food. They have already acted to advance from amongst other agencies yung National Food Authority para masigurado yung bigas available and plentiful. Yung maliban doon sa evacuation sites, yung mga off-evacuation sites, yung mga hindi nakatira sa evacuation sites, pagtutulungan rin, ma-validate kung sino mga may pangangailangan at matulungan rin, lalo na yung mga wala sa evacuation centers. Okay? At so far, in talking with the various local officials, yung kanina pinag-usapan namin karamihan puro yung sa Mindanao River Basin, yung high-impact projects, tinatawag po nila. Malaki lang kung pera kakailanganin dyan. Gusto ko lang kung i-validate yung kanilang mga assumptions, na meron kasi mga cut-off, tinatawag lang river cut-off, na may gumawang ibang channel naman yung tubig, hahanap siya ng sariling level. So, imbis na puntahan yung ginawa, parang pumunta sa ibang lugar. So, ang tanong doon, Hindi kaya ito natural talagang dapat daluyan. At imbis na kontrahin mo yung kalikasan, parang sabayan mo yung kalikasan para may effective yung intervention. Ngayon, sa laki nga nung perang gugugulin at yung marami rin siyempreng pagtitiis yung ating mga kababayan habang ginagawa lahat to, gusto natin masigurado tama itong mga intervention na to. So, yung paggawa niyan, siyempre may mga pinag-usapan na channels, may dredging na parang kung di-describe mo kasi Mindanao River Basin mula raw Agusan hanggang dito sa Iliana Bay. No? Hindi biro yung haba niyan. Meron mga lokal na issue tulad ng right of way na yun ang dahilan raw kaya yung 60 meters ay naging 10 meters sa dulo. Pag ginawa mong gano'n, imbudo. Pag ginawa mong imbudo, mas mabilis. Ang takbo ng tubig, mas destructive. Plus, mas malaking capacity niya magtangay ng sedimentation at tataas yung siltation. So, tinanong ko, meron yung mga design issues yung technical. Kung diretso, mas effective ba yun kaysa ikinurba-kurba natin konti. Pag kinurba nyo kasi parang binabawasan mo yung velocity. Yung velocity ngayon yung scouring, mababawasan rin. Pero that, I will have to consult the experts on that.
Okay, next question, Noel Punsalan, PNA.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President. I would just like to ask to have your opinion on Senator Jinggoy Estrada's plan for a Senate inquiry over alleged delays on the release of funds at the DPWH, especially during emergency cases in the region such as this flooding. May we have your opinion on this?
Can I ask Secretary Singson to reply?
Actually, there are no delays in the release of funds. Ang nangyari dito, because 70% of the line item, if you recall, in the 2011, naka-line item na yung mga budgets, yung projects, 70% of those in the line items were requested for realignment. No? So as a result of the realignment, we had to prepare new programs of work. The funds is not the issue, hindi na-delay yung funds. The funds are there, but I did not want to release until I'm very sure na yung pondong pupuntahan, tama yung program of work at tama yung cost estimates. So hindi po na-delay yan, nandiyan po yung pera. We have started to implement as soon as we approve the program of work.
Pakipaliwanag, Babes, yung sino nag-request to realignment at bakit kailangan i-realign?
Well, kasi in the past, ang nangyari po dito, Mr. President, maraming releases from DBM dumiretso sa mga district offices. So hindi na monitors from central office kung saan napunta at anong project yung ginawa. So now that we have gathered all the information and updated our highway development management program, no, yung actual data, hindi na pwede yung ipalipat-lipat because we have accurate data. No? So, yon ang nangyari. We did not have accurate data, yung sinubmit nila, napondohan na pala. No? So, we had to realign. And some were initiated by our own people, but many of them were initiated by the local politicians.
More or less po, Secretary, ilan na lang po natitirang pondo para sa flood control program ng gobyerno sa Cotabato area?
Let me answer that. No? I asked them exactly kung kailangan ng dagdag na pondo, and their quick response fund is adequate for this need. None of them have been asking for more funds. No? Yung just tells you that they have planned properly. Ready sila at hindi tayo naghahabol ng sitwasyon.